Hello, group. Welcome to Action Rock Corner. I'm your host, Richard May. Today, let's talk about the Stooges. Here's the guidelines for this episode. Iggy, I have a bookshelf of Iggy Pop. Okay? He's done great records way up to today. Wonderful songs. And we could spend time ranking all Iggy Pop's records. You want to concentrate on what's branded as the Stooges. Well, we're going to talk about three. The debut from '69. Can you believe this from 1969? Compared to what 1969 was listening to? And about Funhouse from 1970. 1970. Way ahead of his time. People didn't know what to make of it. We'll talk about it. And then with their drug issues and addiction issues and their boozing, it took 3 years to get to Raw Power in 1973. We'll discuss in a while. It's not really the Stooges by here. Yes, Stooges are there, but it's not the same thing anymore. And of course, it didn't sound like the same thing. Those are the three records all of us know, all of us love, and many of you don't have a bookshelf of Iggy Pop. I'm not showing my bookshelf. That's still primary. That's over there. What you see behind me is a smattering of Iggy and Stooges related material and DVDs over here. A lot of Iggy Pop. So, according to those rules, and I could have, maybe in the future I will, the Weirdness doesn't count, wonderful as it is. Last record with Ron Ashton on guitar, Ready to Die. After Ron Ashton's death, James Rulison comes back, and this is the last Stooges record, because people are dead. So, let's get to it. Let me consult my notes. So, top 15, Iggy and the Stooges, Stooges or Iggy and the Stooges, classic period records, 69 to 73. Those three that we just discussed. Number 15, I Need Somebody from Raw Power. Oh, great song. Do we all need somebody? There you go. Not that it's that kind of song. Number 14. It's also from Raw Power. Penetration. Okay, you sleazes. Yes, it's a sleazy song. But in your perversion, in listening to Penetration, you ever notice that he isn't penetrating someone else? He wants someone to penetrate him. It's Pride Month, folks. Go with it. Listen to the lyrics again, or read the lyrics online. It's penetrate me. Iggy, the singer, penetrate him. Okay? Happy Pride. Oh, Keep that in my hand. Number 13. Another piece of sleaze. Your pretty face is going to hell. Also from World Power. Absolutely beautiful punk. Punk isn't going to exist for another 3 or 4 years after this. That's punk. Your pretty face is going to hell. Okay. Now we're going to go to another record. Funhouse. For number 12. 1970. Also known as I Feel Alright. Oh, this song is where the great band Radio Birdman got their band name. You love your Radio Birdman, don't you? And of course, some Stooges and MC5 people try to form a band with Radio Birdman, and it didn't work out. New race. It's behind me, isn't it? You gotta love it. A lot of people love the Stooges. And boy, you get groove here. This, unlike Raw Power, this has groove. This entire record. And it's a band-ridden record. The difference between this, these two records, and Raw Power, and Raw Power, the difference is the Stooges broke up. They broke up. They're all on drugs, they're all drunk, they're broke, they're a mess. David Bowie and David Bowie's management signs Iggy to a solo deal. This is supposed to be a solo record. That's why the name of the artist here is referred to as Iggy and the Stooges. This is the Stooges. This is the Stooges. This, as you see on the back cover, is Iggy and the Stooges. What happened? It's supposed to be a solo deal for Iggy. Iggy took the later day second guitarist that never recorded with the band, but on tour became a second guitarist, James Williamson. And they were going to do a record together. Not as the Stooges, as an Iggy Pop record. And of course, Iggy went solo right after this. And they recorded, and they did record it in England. Well, they didn't like the rhythm sections they were trying out in England. Didn't get on. So they sent word back to Detroit to Scott Ashton, the drummer of the Stooges. Hey, will you come out? He did. And his brother's brother, the guitarist, Ron Ashton. Of the classic first two records. But Ron Ashton wasn't part of this deal. He's not going to write the songs. The Ashton brothers are not going to write the songs. The songs are written by, The first two records are all band written. The four members wrote those songs: the Ashton brothers, Iggy, and Dave Alexander, the bass player. This is only going to be Williamson and Iggy, and it stayed that way. The Ashton brothers became sidemen, basically. And Ron Ashton, I should say, the writer of those riffs of the first two Stooges records, became a bass player for the paycheck. The bass player to the guy who was before his backup guitarist, his second guitarist to him. That's the kind of straight set, maybe how modest Ron Ashton is, or was. So, here, 1970. Of course, 1970 is the successor to another classic Stooges song we're going to refer to in a while. The year prior, 1969. We'll get to it. And let me here mention Dave Alexander. Dave Alexander was the primary writer. It was all band written, but Dave Alexander was later revealed to be the primary writer of four Stooges songs. 1970, I Feel Alright. He was the primary writer. Where You Get That Groove. He also did Dirt, which I don't name here. It's not a feel-good song. It's a great song. Dirt is a great song. Not one of my personal faves. This is my favorites. You can have different favorites. In the comments, give me your favorite 15 Stooges songs, and if Dirt's there, it should be. Dirt is great. And Dave Alexander primarily wrote that, 1970. And then on debut, he was primarily responsible for We Will Fall and Yule Doll. Very cool songs. Doesn't even make my nut for top 15. So, number 12 is 1970. Number 11, Gimme Danger from Raw Power. More sleaze. A nice S&M song. You be his lover, he'll sing for you. You be his master, I will do anything. You remember Iggy singing that? Be my master, I will do anything. Gimme Danger. A nice bit of S&M sleaze. So that's number 11, Gimme Danger. Number 10. You wonder if I'm going to get to it. No Fun. From the self-titled debut. No fun is fun. Great song. And Iggy admits that he lifted the vocal line from Johnny Cash. Not the lyrics, just the rhythm of the vocal. Number 9. Oh, don't put this down. You're going to be amazed I put this low. I wanna be your dog. It's number 9? Am I nuts? Rolling Stone in 2021 named I Wanna Be Your Dog the 314th greatest song in rock and roll. 314th out of a lot of songs, which means they rank I Want to Be Your Dog a bit higher than ninth from the Stooges. Okay? And Pitchfork named it number 16. Wrap your head around this. Number 16 of the greatest 60s songs. 1960s. This came out in 1969. Like the song, 1969. 60. 56 years ago now. Is my math right? Pitchfork, number 16 of all. It's kind of wrong for them. I Want to Be Your Dog killed the 60s. 60s was done when this came out. Not necessarily time-wise, but the Stooges killed the hippie movement, killed the 60s. Well, they didn't sell that many of this record. It wasn't a best-selling record. But those who heard this record and Funhouse the next year, the 60s was over. You're listening to this. If you could overview what was being listened to in 1969 and 1970, compare that nonsense. I mean, I love it too. Yes, I do. A lot of stuff I love in 1969 and 1970. After all, Black Sabbath shows up in 1970. But this is years ahead of what was coming out in 69 and 70. Number 9 was I Want to Be Your Dog. Number 8. Death Trip. Raw Power. How? Less than $5 word. Okay, there's inflation, $10 word. For Death Trip. Nihilistic. Negative. I'm gonna take you on my death trip. Holy crap. And the riff is cool too. This is how this record ends, is with Death Trip. It had to. It had to be the last song. Absolutely amazing. My number 8, Death Trip on Raw Power. Yep. Keep Raw Power in my hand. You notice I'm naming a lot of old power songs. You'll see how high it gets, because we're just now getting to the top half of the list. And I've already named a bunch of raw power songs. Raw Power, as I explained before, is not supposed to be a Stooges record. It turned into a Stooges lineup. It was not supposed to be a Stooges record. It was supposed to be Iggy with Williamson. And they did the writing instead of the old Stooges band. But? Raw Power. Raw Power is the most consistent record of the three. The debut, subtitled, inconsistent, to say the least. All cool. No such thing as a bad Stooges song in this period. But not all classic. On the debut. On Funhouse, Dirt's a bit of a bummer, like I said before. And LA Blues, the ending song, it's cool. but it isn't what the rest of the record is. That makes Funhouse a bit inconsistent. But at least LA Blues was the last song. Raw Power? Hint. Only left out one song from Raw Power. Only one song I don't name of the 8 songs here. And that is Shake Appeal. You can easily name Shake Appeal as one of your top 15. Shake Appeal is great. It's a bit simple and easy. It's wonderful. But compared to the rest of Raw Power, Shake Appeal doesn't quite hold up. And the other of my top 15 songs, Shake Appeal just misses out. So Raw Power is more consistent than everything else. I'm talking about number 7 now, Search and Destroy. Again, you're going, Search and Destroy is only number 7 for you? That's where Search and Destroy is where the Streetwalking Cheetahs gets their band name. We'll mention what's covered on this record in a minute from the Streetwalking Cheetahs. Rolling Stone says Search and Destroy is from 2004, the 468th best song of all time is Search and Destroy. VH1, is VH1 still kind of cool? No. I haven't seen VH1 in decades. They named it Search and Destroy, the 49th best hard rock of all time, hard rock song of all time. For me, it's number 7. Wait until when I name the next 6 songs and see if you really disagree. But I guess according to VH1, Rolling Stone, and Pitchfork maybe, I'm lame. It's my favorites. We're to encourage discussion. In the comments, name yours. Have fun. No wrong answers. Just remember the rule. We're talking about those 3 albums. Okay? The first 3 Iggy albums. Search and Destroy. Excellent. But, well, no but yet. Number 6 is Raw Power. I fail to know if Raw Power is a best song of all time list. It should be too. That's my number 6. Just a bulldozer of a song. This is a very different record than the first 2 Stooges records, which is why it's kind of wrong to group this with the first 2, because it's a very different band and who's writing the songs. Raw Power is more in common with Kill City by Iggy and Rollinson. You own your Kill City, don't you? You love your Kill City? You should. But it doesn't get quite the love because it was an independent label. It wasn't a major label release. As Turbo Negro says here, on their last song, What is Rock? That's the name of the song. Let me just check. Boy, this back cover is a mess. The last song is Right as a Rock. I'm right, aren't I? Yes. Right here. All these lyrics to it. Right as Rock from Retox from Turbo Negro, the last record with Hank Van Hell. Hank sings, or says, Kill City's where it's at, rather than Funhouse. You know, most days I do prefer Funhouse over Raw Power. For consistency, you know, when I'm doing this kind of thing for ranking songs, yeah, Raw Power is more consistent. Kill City's pretty cool too. Hank, I don't think Hank's up there. Maybe he is. But Hank, you may be right. Kill City may be where it's at. Raw Power, number 6. Number 5. 1969. Oh, that's the first Stooges song I ever heard in college. Somehow it took another generation for me to really catch on to the Stooges, because I guess I heard Raw Power in that horrible mix. Everyone kind of agrees that mix is butt awful. But then punks love that mix. That mix created punk. Iggy mixed it. Iggy didn't quite know what he was doing, by all accounts, including his, because he tried to remix it again. And so, you know, so Raw Power, I may have heard it somewhere and I went, no, that isn't what I want. And so I really didn't try Iggy and the Stooges until well after college. You know, I'm a mellowhead, hard rock guy. And we don't play the Stooges and Iggy Pop on Cleveland radio. I mean, now the program director for the hip radio station claims, oh, I love Iggy. He didn't play Iggy in Cleveland. I didn't hear any Iggy. Iggy's recording in Cleveland. Recorded a lot of this classic live record in Cleveland. Did I hear Iggy and the Iggy Pop and the Stooges in Cleveland? Hell no. Talk about underground. Your town might be playing Iggy and the Stooges all the time. Your town might be cooler than mine. I didn't hear Iggy in my teens, in my 20s, in my 30s, and later. That's when, holy crap, that's great. 1969 through, I heard on this compilation called Michigan Rocks. And it's a wonderful compilation with, of course, MC5, Kick Out the Jams, The Stooges, 1969, early Bob Seger, and Mitch Ryder, and all the great stuff from Detroit. And it made me love Detroit rock and roll. I think it's a nice sized Detroit rock and roll section over there in the shelf underneath the Iggy Pop section. Okay. And of course, 1969, War Across the USA. I think 1969 can be retitled 2025 pretty soon. Are you on the job there, Iggy? History is repeating itself, Iggy. Be prepared to rewrite that song. So that's by sentimentality of nothing else. And of course, the groove and the riff. 1969 is my number 5. Now we get to my number 4. 3, 2, 1. 1. You were wondering I was a bit light on Funhouse, didn't you? My top four are all from Funhouse. And the order of these four can change up at any moment. The order of any of these songs can just go. You ask me in 6 months, I'm going to forget this order. I may give you a completely new order of this top 15 because as long as I don't go listen to this, I will just jumble up this order over again, especially these top four. But number 4, I'm going to go with TVI. TVI. And he's not really talking about TV. Yeah, being old TVI, I'm thinking of the old CBS logo. Everyone did. And you hear the version of, excuse me, TVI here, which is the title track. Should be the title track. It kicks your ass. It previews raw power to a certain extent with the metallic hard rock nature of it. And of course, you know, this is the tour where David Bowie's playing keyboards as a sideman. Figure that out. Iggy and David Bowie was close, to say the least. So no, it's not really talking about television. It's about sex again. How people stare at each other a certain way. 1970. Well ahead of this time. That's number 4. Number 3. Why did I do that? I'm keeping it in my hand for all the next 3. Funhouse. Funhouse. Title track. You want to hear a great cover of Funhouse? Go to this Street Rockin' Cheetahs record. Hell of a cover. And of course, there's other covers of Funhouse all over the place. And here I want to talk about Dave Alexander, the bass player. Because in the last 3 songs, what the last 3 songs I pick have in common is groove. Boy, does it groove. And much of that has to be Dave Alexander, the original bass player. He's one of the died at 27 club. Through the course, he doesn't have the same stature of Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, or Janis Joplin. Of course, he died a number of years later. He died in 1975. He loved to drink. He drank a lot. And it caught up to him. It was a health issue, not necessarily choking on his vomit. Like Bon a few years later. Bon Scott, I should say. From AC/DC. But Dave was writing these songs in his band compositions of Funhouse and the debut. There's a reason why the Stooges, in replacing Dave Alexander, had to bring in Mike Watt from the Minutemen in his solo career and whatever else Mike Watt has done over the years. Hell of a bass player. It had to be him to replace Dave Alexander. I'm a bit bass deaf. If the bass is mixed low on the record, I don't hear the bass. I hear drums, I hear guitar, I hear the vocals, I hear a keyboard, I hear horns. Bass? No idea. You gotta crank that bass up like Motorhead and Funhouse. That bass, and this is of course properly mixed, unlike raw power. Funhouse has a hell of a mix, especially on this. His bass is great. It's grooving. And Funhouse's groove. That's number 3. Number 2, Loose. More groove. And the lead-off track is number 1. Excuse me. Down on the Street. Just a groove to open the record, but Down the Street and Loose. That's a hell of a way to open this record. Just groove. Just groove all over the place. And then the third track is TVI. That's a hell of a 3 songs. They just groove. TVI punches more. You know, that riff, guitar riff, it's a bit different. But those first Down the Street and Loose, absolutely amazing groove and jamming. And if it wasn't for, Dirt is wonderful. It's great. It's definitely top 20 if I go that far. But then there isn't much more than 20 songs between the 3. Oh well. But in Funhouse, I got a bar called Funhouse down the road. I was into bars I would stop in just because. I gotta now love a bar called Funhouse. And yeah, they named it for the song. Oh. At least Iggy's still with us. Iggy still got it. He performs well. I reviewed his last live record just a short while ago. Looked that up. What's the name of that thing? Give me a second. Dojo's nearby. This one. Montreal Jazz Festival. 2023. You should keep his shirt on. We love you, Iggy. You look great for 78. Or whatever your age, 76 in this recording, but I find it funny. He's wearing, you notice how he's wearing dress pants? You know, those are dress pants. After this show, he's going to mop down and put on a nice shirt, and he's going to blend in with the crowd, with the rich folks. Because he ain't broke anymore. David Bowie made certain of that. He ain't broke. Hopefully he'll die comfortably. I don't mean it like that. He would be comfortable for the rest of his life. I hope. It's expensive to get old in America. Leave it at that. Especially expensive when you're famous. And that's my top 15 songs of the iconic first three Stooges records. What do you think? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. What's your top 15? Or whatever your top songs are off the top of your head. And you want to stretch your definition and mention songs from Ready to Die and and the Weirdness. I could forget that title. I'm flexible. Go any direction you want. Just let's talk about Iggy and the Stooges. Someday we'll talk about New Race and Destroy All Monsters and the stuff that Ron Ashton did. Great stuff. Like this video? Give it a like. Become a subscriber. Don't cost nothing. I don't annoy people who subscribe to me. Just subscribe. And ring the notification bell. And leave a comment. And for the latest in action rock, garage rock, and classic and legacy bands like the Stooges. Come back here to Action Rock Corner. We'll have it for you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for loving the Stooges. If you're new to the Stooges, remember, it's all here on YouTube. All kinds of Iggy, all kinds of Stooges, all kinds of hours and hours of wonderful stuff to listen to on YouTube Music. Just type it in. Iggy Pop, the Stooges. That, since it wasn't that long ago, well, it was. I remember middle age. What a great time. But discovering the Stooges, oh my God, that's a rush. Check out those first three, and then check out everything else. Just explore. That's a rush. That's a rush. Of finding the Stooges for the first time. I was wasting my time with, what crap was I listening to? Warrant and Bon Jovi. My God, I tried all of that. They say hate videos are popular. Why? I don't want to think about what I don't care. It's all fine. Warrant and Bon Jovi, that's all fine. It's just they put some ballads and pop in there, and there's some nice stuff in there. We all hear things differently, but as Siege and Cruelty viewers say, we all hear things differently. But boy, hair metal, glam metal, other than Cinderella, which is not really glam anything. That just goes blues rock if you listen to Cinderella. I digress. I'm just saying thank you and get find fresh music. That's the point. Fresh music is as important as fresh food. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.